about 10 years, which is exciting. So we have a proven track record of success. It's not a company that you're checking out for the first time tonight that maybe one day, well, we're going to make it and we might be successful. We're massively successful. In fact, we're one of the best companies in the world at the transformation of the human body. And when it comes to North America, we're actually second in line. I'll say it, behind Weight Watchers, but there's a company that's been at it for more than 30 years. We've only been doing this for 5 years. And we've been doing it so well that they actually had to add the Y-shape to their point system. Can we get a little bit of that? So when it comes to science, we can nerd out with the best of them, but we realize over the years that no matter how great your science is, or whatever perfect balance and perfect everything that you have, if you don't have an impactful, powerful marketing message to back it up, nobody cares. Right? I mean, it's like when Nick and Blake and Ryan met Dr. Michael Simon, who is one of the most world-renowned doctors, when it comes to holistic wellness. He's also a medical doctor, so he's sort of like the perfect balance between Eastern and Western medicine. He came up with a lot of our products and our technology. A lot of nerds, and Dr. Simon would be okay with me calling him that because I think he's amazing, but a lot of nerds, when they come up with something, they're like, oh my God, everybody's just going to come beating the door down to get this stuff. And then they realize, oh, wait a minute. I've got to market. I've got to get it out there in the world, and I've got to market this. And a lot of people say, well, why can't we just sell these products on the shelves? Or why can't we, have some celebrity, on television say, I drink the Y-shake, and it's delicious. And you think about it, and the reality is many times companies spend millions and millions and millions of dollars paying somebody to say something when they don't actually do it in the first place. How many of you guys would mind if we paid you to actually talk about something you're doing? We realize that many times people, at least I am, I don't know about you guys, but I'm more likely to try something if a girlfriend of mine says, you've got to try it, it's awesome. Or I'm more likely to go to a movie if somebody says, you have to see that movie, it's great. Than I am if I'm like, I'm just going to pick randomly here, and you're the one, right? Instead, I want to know that somebody's had results, and that's the greatest thing about what we do, is that, even if you personally feel like you're bad at marketing, or, I'm not really a salesperson, I don't know how this is going to work, you help get our products in 3 or 4 of your friends' bodies, get them a transformation. You're not going to be able to stop this thing even if you want it. Why is that? Because they're walking billboards for the challenge. We heard from like 10 of them tonight, right? They walk in the room and, hey, are you that lady that I saw pulling an airplane the other day? How many pounds have you lost?
134 pounds.
Can we give a word? Earlier they were like, yeah, I pulled an airplane. I was like, I don't know what that means. Like, it's a Canadian thing. I'm just going to go back and ask her later. Pulling an airplane means. She actually meant pulling an airplane. And you would have asked, you a couple years ago, hey, could you imagine that you would have lost 175 pounds on your challenge? No. Guys, I'm telling you, we couldn't stop this thing even if we wanted. The amount of people's lives she's changed just by walking in her room. And there is something special about being the person personally responsible for changing someone's life. I will warn you, if you're in this room and what you're hearing already sounds exciting and fun to you, the only addictive thing that you're going to have a problem with is not being able to get to people fast enough. Because once people start calling you and telling you, hey, this is changing my life, and even if it's 5 pounds or gaining 10 pounds of muscle and getting their sexy back. Excuse me, is anybody in this room already sexy or just trying to get sexier? I didn't want to overlook you guys and make you feel alienated tonight. It's okay, we can help you get sexier too. We're really, really good at that. 3 million transformations so far, 53 millionaires, actually the number is a little low. 18,000 people we've helped put in a BMW. Now, for some of you guys at that rank, you might not know this, but at the rank of regional director at the BMW level, you're making around $2,000 a month, and you're driving a free BMW. By the way, that's not crammed into that $2,000. That's on top of the average of about $1,500 to $2,000 a month. We take care of a BMW on your behalf, about $600 a month, whatever kind you want. As long as it's silver, black, or green. It can be leased, lightly used, purchased, whatever. We're giving you $600 a month once you hit regional director, period. I don't know about you guys, but I came from a very big family, And that was the very first car I ever had that was new in my entire life. And even now I'm a global ambassador, a day doesn't pass where I sit in that car and I just feel, I'm like, this is crazy. I am so grateful that somebody else is making these payments on this thing for me. And you know, the car does smell better and it does drive better when somebody else is paying. Your first new vehicle, it was a red leather interior, 335i, hardtop convertible. I felt like a goddess when I pulled out of that lot for the first time in my new car. I mean, I had hand-me-downs, you know. 4 people had gotten this car before I got into it. So I'm telling you guys now, even if that's something that's exciting to you, and even if $2,000 a month isn't life-changing, I want to tell you something tonight that I hope will leave with you when you leave here. $2,000 a month and taking a car payment off of somebody's plate is absolutely life-changing for most North Americans. That's right. Life-changing. You have changed them and their family. They can take more days off. They can take their kids to experiences, you know, that they haven't been able to experience, or they can come good on promises that they've made to people, or they can have that special occasion. Fill in the blank. $2,000 a month can provide more opportunities. And we are really, really, really good at helping people hit that position. If you are in this room and you make 6 figures a year at anything or close to, or you're a teacher of some sort, or you coach people, or you know you're big in your church or synagogue or whatever, you have natural born leadership tendencies. This is not a wish or a hope or a prayer. This is actually a statistical fact in our company. You are somebody that we would consider a person of influence, and typically we can help you hit that position of $2,000 a month and a free car in about 8 weeks. In fact, if you're in this room, and even if you're standing, a lot of the leaders are back there, if you have qualified for your BMW, if you guys would please stand up so we can recognize you. If you're in the back, raise your hand. And if I were a betting person, the odds in this room look pretty good. So you're maybe in the right room tonight. So the vision of our leadership is the last thing I want to cover here. I don't think anybody would be a part of the company, you know, if they didn't believe in some part of the mission or the leadership. You know, personally, I think the guy in the middle is super sexy. That's my husband, Nick Sarnicola. He was the chief sales officer of our company at the time when we originally launched the challenge. And he saw some of the numbers coming in from this challenge and how it was working, and he said, I want to get back in the field. He was sort of like a LeBron James in a coaching role. It doesn't work. Or who's a big hockey player out here? Sorry, that doesn't work. Speaking of hockey, who's like the biggest hockey guy? Wayne Gretzky. That would be like Wayne Gretzky in his prime, you know, in a coaching role with the, you know, the clipboard, telling everybody what plays to do. It's just weird. He wanted to get back in the game, right? So Nick got back in the game, you know, and it's really cool. And for those of you that understand business and you have your own business, you're going to like this. He is not only a corporate, right, head of corporate, but he's also in the field. And really in our industry, that's a game changer. When you have somebody who earns a living through the same compensation plan as everybody else in the company, when something needs to happen or get tweaked or changed, it changes. Because the head founder, the head guy in the company, is also in the field. And it's really cool because sometimes in our industry, there's competition between corporate and field. That whole slate has been cleaned here, and we have a very, very good relationship between corporate and field, which is unique. Ryan Blair, our CEO, actually is a New York Times best-selling author. The story of his life is on his famous book, Nothing to Lose, Everything to Gain, about how he came from nothing. And it's the story of our company. So if you've never read it, you know, at least you can look back on that and say, man, that's a book that I could read. You know, to put some of those lessons back in my own business when I leave here. And then Blake Allen is the genius marketing person that came up with the challenge. And it's interesting. I'm going to talk to you guys about why the challenge is important. The first thing I'll tell you is who we're not. Listen, we've all been to something in this industry or heard of stories of this industry. I want to share with you who we're not. We don't sell magic. We don't have the magical elixir that cures everything, and you'll walk out of here, you know, and you know Little Mermaid, right? We're not Ursula, right? We can't give you everything you want in life from our magical elixirs. But the great news is we're very down to earth. All we focus on is becoming the company that masters healthy fast food. And listen why this is important. Anybody heard of the fast food industry? You know they're a multi-billion-dollar industry every year? Let's talk about why. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. There's 3 reasons why people choose fast food. The first reason is it tastes good. Hey, I know, I promote a challenge. I'm part of a weight loss company. But fast food, it tastes good. Why? It's high saturated fat, high sodium, high calorie, high sugar, fill in the blank. Stuff that's not good for you, it's in there. Yeah, right? It's addictive. Some of those things are addictive. The second reason why people choose fast food, it's fast. We live in a fast-paced society, right? How many of you guys are busy? Raise your hand, right? Great, because we love working with busy people. Right? Busy people get things done. Now, this is really interesting. If you think about where we were 50 years ago, right? People were farming for their food. People had gardens in their back, and they lived on big acreage and big farms. And a few of you guys do in the room, but you're like the 1%. Most people now, families, the mom and dad, have jobs. It's really hard to both have jobs, and then pick the kids up, get them to practices, get them to the 10 things they need to go to. You're the chauffeur, service, you're the provider, the fill in the blank. And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, wait a minute, they got to eat. Right? You don't have time to go farm your own fresh vegetables, cook up a whole meal. Instead, parents are just going through the drive-thru. Right? You don't ever hear, farmers from 40 years ago, hey man, is it back day today for you or leg day? They don't have back and leg day. Every day is back day, and every day is leg day. They've got more activity now for many jobs to sit behind a desk. It's obvious why the obesity epidemic is what it is. In fact, 75% of Americans and something like around 68 to 69% of Canadians are overweight. And they're out there looking for a solution. Business people in the room, there will be $1 trillion growth over the next 10 years or more in the wellness industry. Does anybody want to shout out a quick guess, quickly, for what you think the largest sector of the wellness industry will be? Weight loss. People ask me all the time, well, Vi's been around for 10 years, and how's the is there still people left that haven't heard about Vi? Here's the interesting thing. Until the epidemic of obesity is eradicated, we are always going to have a market. Until everybody's skinny and the whole world in perfect shape or doesn't need to build any muscle or get their sexy back or sexier, there's always going to be a market for us. And that's one of the reasons why people choose our company. Because we've been around for a long time, we've got a proven track record, there's no end to the amount of people who want a transformation. If those statistics are true, and they are, that means 6 out of 10 of people that every single one of you guys know that lives here in Toronto or surrounding areas needs to hear about it. They need to hear about a transformation. Or they're out there looking, or they're wondering, what their solution can be. Now, many people have tried a bunch of diets, they've tried a bunch of stuff, and some things work, right? They work, right? I'm not crazy. I don't think we're the only option in the world. There's other things out there that will work. The problem is there's no environment for them to plug into. And the other problem is diets are quick fixes. We don't promote a diet. We promote a lifestyle. You become a part of the ViSalus environment, immediately we're going to plug you into something I'm going to talk about next that's going to blow your mind. It's a game changer that we launched in January of this year. There's a million options there. Any traditional business owners in the room? Raise your hand. Anybody? All right. Just by shouting it out, and this number could be different. How much did it cost you to start your business? All in. The location, the marketing, the hiring of people to start it out. $110,000. Just so you guys know, anybody else want to share? That's cheap. Yeah. Just so you guys know, the average room is about 50 grand is the lowest I've ever heard. $50,000 to start your own business. The other option actually is a franchise. You could go in on one of those, and those are about $150,000 minimum for the average franchise. Or you could be in business for yourself in direct sales for $500. Sorry, not $500 a month. $500 one time. We're talking about very, very low investment for a potential very high reward. I'm not talking about a get-rich-quick. That's the least thing I'm interested in. Whatever you put into your business is what you're going to get out of it. But how many of you raise your hand if you know people who might want to lose some weight? There you go. Here's your answer. What's the worst case scenario? I know this sounds crazy and maybe negative, but I'm always about what's the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, you find 10 people who want to just get their sexy back or lose some weight. You don't even find any business partners, which we're going to talk about next. You're making around $650 a month just by helping 10 people lose weight on our biggest kit. 10 people a month. This is interesting because if it proves true that 7 out of 10 people you know want to lose weight, and you can just get 10 of them and help them, you can make around $650 to $700 a month with us. Even if that's not life-changing for you, I've never met an entrepreneur who didn't mind another stream of income. I've never met someone with a full-time job that could have an entire business on their cell phone, right? Where somebody else is covering the shipping, somebody else is all you gotta do is find the people who want to have a transformation. That's it. And we pay you to do that. That's a pretty clean, easy business without a lot of stuff. You don't have to stock, you don't have to do this and that. We just actually party, and that's all we do. I know that sounds really crazy. We show up to people's houses, we push blend in a blender. How many of you can do that? We push play on a DVD. How many of you guys can do that? You're going to be good to go. Push blend in a blender, we push play on a DVD, and we help people get transformation. That's it. For $500 one time. 300 of the 5 is personal product for your own consumption and your samples and all the stuff that you need to effectively market your business or your side business. For those of you that have a strong marketing mind or a sales background and you understand the power of sampling,